not the end of the fortnight. He begins it.
15 love.
And apologies if you're getting that sound interference across our coverage live from New York. Just snatched at that, and we'll see how many more of those might occur tonight. As we have seen this year, it has been this sort of spells of brilliance, but then spells of unforced errors as well, and he has not been as consistent a performer as he was.
30-15.
I mean, the biggest problem for him, as he himself said in his own way, he created a monster. I mean, he set the bar so high, not even Sergei Bubka could get over it. And so anything compared to that is, in many people's eyes, you know, is a shabby year. But, I mean, it just, in reality, isn't.
What touch there. The hand skills from Federer to brilliant effect very early on. The first little bit of stardust from him tonight.
Yeah, and you know, in some ways, he's perhaps also been his sort of own worst enemy, but by setting the bar so high, by winning so many sort of matches consistently, the intensity that he's invested in that over the last 4 years, I just wonder whether, you know, it was never possible to keep it up for 8 years, and I just wonder whether he hit the wall a little bit with that, in terms of being able to walk out to court and to perform at the level that he did for such a, you know, an extended period of time.
Good move from the Argentine. His last match was playing in a Spanish challenger, and he lost it in straight sets. First round there. Lost first round of his previous 2 challenges as well.
30 love.
Having won one earlier in the season and briefly broken inside the top 100, which was what got him into this draw. Didn't have to qualify for it.
Yeah, incredibly has never attempted to qualify for the US Open, for Wimbledon, but more surprisingly, even for Roland Garros.
30-15.
A bit bizarre, but one of a good number of Argentines who began this draw. 10 of them at the start. Federer's footwork
30-all.
fine again, as you'd expect from him. And when he's at his best, it really is a joy to see. And the forehand hitting it well again, which he was wont to do. But can he keep it up consistently? Not just here, but through the matches to come if he should win.
And 40-30.
Now this is good play, good strong play from the Argentine. Needs to get himself going early.
Game, Gonzalez.
And he gets a game off the great man, so that'll do him good.
1 game all, first set. Ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder, as occurs to the players, please no flash photography during play. Thank you. And 15 love. 30 love. love.
These two just getting going, obviously, but their next opponent or potential opponent for one of these two will be Thiago Alves of Brazil, a qualifier who has just got through in 5 sets against Paul Capdeville. Simply done, sweetly done by Federer there. And he leads 2-1.
Federer leads 2-1 in first set.
Aside from that early volley into the net, second point of the match, it's been very well timed from Federer tonight already, and I'm sure he'll be pleased with that.
Yeah, I think he will be pleased. As you say, I think you know, he's not going to get through somebody like this, love, and love. I think that would be a little bit too much to ask, you know, and he may just have to grind out a set, but I'm sure he's going to break the will as we hear the first of the evening's tennis giveaways that get the crowd going.
It's upgrade time for somebody. Maybe given a seat closer to the proceedings. Of course, if this match were to go beyond midnight, well, perhaps those who remain would all get a seat close by. We saw that last night with Thomas Blake against Donald Young, and what a match that turned out to be. I don't think this is going to get quite as far, but still plenty of excitement around the arena.
Thank you. Ready for play. Love.
More success for British tennis. Ross Hutchins have beaten the Ratabatana brothers in the doubles. They've done it in 3 sets. 6-3, 1-6, 6-4.
Love.
Gonzalez doing a good job there, moving as you would expect from somebody that grew up on the clay. You won't mind going for a long time out here, but it is a totally different movement on the hard courts, but he seems to be acquitting himself pretty well to start with.
.30-15.
Loves to hit the angled forehand, but he's missed by a few inches into the tram line. So Gonzalez, for the moment, withstanding what Federer can bring to this match.
Game, Gonzalez.
And levels once again.
2 games all, first set.
So if he was nervous, and I'm sure he was, he's settling well.
Well, another Gonzalez, but a very famous Gonzalez. Pancho Gonzalez was arguably the best player that's ever played the game, but unfortunately for Pancho, a lot of his best tennis came in the amateur era when he was a professional. But a lot of people felt as though he's missed out in many ways in terms of being up there with the legends of the game. But he was quoted as saying, when you play a better player, don't try to hit harder, play your own game but try to be faster on your feet, which is good advice from Gonzalez there, because I think there is a temptation when you play the best players to go out and try and hit sort of blistering winners.
Do you think Fernando Gonzalez took that advice?
Yes, I don't think it applies to everybody. It's like everything, you know, everything in moderation. It's the 80-20 rule of life.
The 15-4.
He pulled the trigger, but he's misfired, and suddenly Federer is the man who faces break points for the first time tonight. Gets it done, but that could have got very nasty for him. Had the lob been a little higher, a little deeper.
30-40.
Yeah, he was still reminiscing about that missed forehand volley when he came in for that one, and just gave that a little nudge. And as you say, he was in danger there of losing a point that he was comfortably winning.
Oh, what a drive shot that was. Great pickup and timing on the ball. And he holds on for the moment. His good friend Tiger Woods is in town tonight, but he's not here. He's actually at Yankee Stadium watching the Yankees against the Red Sox. And a very crisp volley gets him ahead in the game.
Advantage Federer.
You'd think perhaps now, Petch, that the odds are on Woods ending up with more majors than Federer.
Yeah, depending obviously how Woods recovers from his serious knee injury.
Game, Federer.
So a moment of concern, but he's put it aside and has gone ahead again. 3-2 first set.
3-2, first set.
Now at B&Q, there's up to 5 years interest-free credit on all kitchens and bathrooms. Plus, there's 40% off all kitchen doors, drawer fronts and 25 bathroom collections, with up to 5 years interest-free credit until the 4th of September.
Let's do it. Let's fall in love.
Why wait?
I need a smuggler.
What's the package?
Hey, girl. Babylon AD.
As it grows, a baby needs a special combination of nutrients to sustain the incredible growth in its brain, body, and immune system. To provide for those 3 essential aspects of growth, Heinz created new Nurture, an advanced, complete follow-on formula to help nourish, protect, and develop your baby.
Sky Bet. It matters more when there's money on it.
Looking very calm and very focused.
Top.
And for those of his fans who were watching moments ago and worrying that he was going to get broken, he dealt with it as he tends to do. Very calmly, very efficiently and very effectively, but Gonzalez, he lived to rue that missed opportunity. He had the couple of break points. As yet though, this still on serve at 2-3.
Love 15.
Well, that's what he needs to cut out of this match, Gonzalez. He needs to, I know, again, it's always a fine line between allowing Federer not to miss and also trying to sort of dictate a little bit, but it is going to be massive for Gonzalez to really sort of manage his unforced error count.
Might look upstairs at this one on the big
Mr.
screen.
Gonzalez is challenging the call. On the right near sideline, the ball was called out.
It's probably the first time he's ever used Hawkeye, isn't it?
Oh, I was going to say.
And he's used it well.
I was wondering why they don't have that on the challengers.
15 all.
The whole system probably costs more than the prize money.
And that certainly looks like the stronger side for the Argentine. Plenty of punch in that big forehand.
30-15.
Yeah, stunning shot from Gonzalez. Federer just perhaps a little guilty there of being slightly conservative, maybe wanting to force Gonzalez to hit the winner. And the Argentine obliged.
Terrific backhand. Right over the ball and through it.
30 all.
Beautifully timed. Terrific. Right through the ball again, over his shoulders.
Well, if this is the standard of tennis that's going on in the challenges, we might want to cover a few of them. They've got one in Bermuda, haven't they?
Game. Gonzalez.
And a good change-up from Gonzalez, so still Federer unable to
3 games all.
break
First
point
serve.
against him, let alone actually break through.
Couldn't have asked for much more. Gonzalez, he's hit winners, he's managed to get Federer off balance in some of the baseline rallies.
15 love.
Maximo playing to his maximum.
Again, really good use of power and precision, knowing when to attack and getting good width on that.
15 all.
Yeah, I just wonder when Federer is going to go for the sort of the drop shot off either a backhand or forehand. We saw that new sort of wrinkle on the clay from the world #1 at times, and Gonzalez is parking himself, you know, way back off this baseline.
Couldn't bring that back down, but he was there for it.
30-15.
Rafael Nadal was kept on court for nearly 3 hours by Bjorn Pau of Germany, a rank outsider. Is Gonzalez going to do likewise against Federer? Certainly up for it.
40-15.
Yeah, and I don't think we should underestimate how tough it has been for all of these guys in recent weeks to, you know, traverse the globe and get back and feel good physically and get your sleep patterns back as well.
Federer. New balls, please.
Another step for Federer in this set, and he leads
Federer leads 4 games to 3. First set.
So the Swiss being pushed, it would be fair to say, but you'd feel that he still feels very much in command of what he's doing out there and should be in command of the progress of this match. 18 minutes old.
Yeah, again, going back to this book I was reading about, it's very poignant what his mum said about Federer. You know, they were about 14 and he was asked to go to the Swiss sort of centre of excellence, and Federer originally said no, and they talked about it with his parents, said no, and then they suddenly read in a magazine article that Federer was going, and they sort of then spoke to him, and he said, yeah, I think it's the right thing to do, and he went up and stayed with the family, but it was in the French-speaking part, and he doesn't speak it, and it was very awkward for him early on, and he used to be on the phone to his mum for about an hour a night talking to her and everything else, and she said, you know, it was very difficult for him. There were quite a few tears. He longed to come home and see his friends, you know, at the weekend, but because he had made that decision to go himself, he stuck it out. And it was the best thing for him, and I think it's a very good lesson for a lot of kids out there, you know, who have that choice made for them, and you know, they don't stick it out. They're not happy, and they don't want to see it through because it wasn't them that ultimately made the call.
Says a great deal about him, doesn't it?
Yeah, interesting enough, he learnt his strokes hitting against the wall outside, inside, and everywhere else, and Roddick the same. Henri Cochet back in the 20s made the same thing. He said, I consider a wall practice the best way to learn strokes. This is my new campaign. You know, like my
Gonzalez is challenging the call.
My campaign, it was good enough for Federer to learn his strokes. It was good enough for Roddick and quite a few other people along the way, hitting against the wall when you're young. And if you go through British sports clubs, the good clubs now, I mean, you never see a practice wall inside. And my theory on that is obviously that the coaches don't particularly want you to have a practice wall because you don't have to have as many lessons because you go and spend hours and hours hitting for free. There was
15 all.
An invisible wall there for Federer with that ball because it went right through it. Gonzalez doing a good job so far of throwing back a lot of what Federer has delivered down his end of the court. But a little slip there from the Argentine. The moment Gonzalez's level drops just 5%, and you just sense that Federer will make a pretty quick move through this match.
There it goes. And it's Federer's turn to try now and break through.
And 30-40.
They may only be 2 years apart in age, but the ranking obviously is very different for this man outside the top 100. And in terms of experience at this level, only his third Grand Slam contest for Federer. It's his 181st.
Federer will be disappointed. It's one thing to lose a couple of break points, but he really was the master of his own downfall there. The serve on the 15-40 point was just 105 miles per hour.
Advantage Federer. Game, Federer.
so he could ill afford that, but it is Federer who has the breakthrough.
Federer leads 5-3, first set.
Yeah, it's a shame for him, but I mean, unfortunately, it was inevitable. I mean, just to play with the intensity that you need to just stay with Federer, let alone beat him, it's going to be pretty tough for someone like Gonzalez.
All
of a sudden, Federer again just sort of relaxing, and he can just look to sort of really put his foot down, I think, now.
30 love.
3-all, 4-3, and he's not, you know, had the sort of year that we're used to seeing, having a few little doubts swirling around, but 5-3, and yeah, I think the writing very quickly on the wall now.
40 love.
Looking to finish off this first set in style. 4 aces. Will number 5 pinch it? Very nearly. Well, credit to Gonzalez going for it. Nothing to lose there but a set. And he went
40-50.
big on the return and bigger with the second shot.
Game. And
Asking too much, though, of Gonzalez on that point, and so the set is Federer's, and he'll sit down, I'm sure, pretty pleased with his night's work so far. 25 minutes gone, and he has the set by 6-3.
The countdown to the Ryder Cup continues with the Johnny Walker Championship at Glen Eagles. It's the last chance to clinch a place in Europe's Ryder Cup team, to be announced live on Sky Sports. In association with the Royal Bank of Scotland, coverage starts Thursday at 10, Sky Sports 1 and HD1. The Ryder Cup is almost here. Follow Nick Faldo's European team as they defend the trophy. Sky Sports, your Ryder Cup channel.
In a recent survey, MoneySupermarket.com was #1 for saving you money on your car insurance. We're #1 because we compare more quotes than anyone else to help you get the best price.
That's the car insurance sorted. What's next?
Whatever you're looking for, MoneySupermarket.com compares the market in seconds to get you the best deal. MoneySupermarket.com, the price comparison site.
Sky Bet. It matters more when there's money on it.
So far, so good for Roger Federer, the defending champion and second seed this year. Opening his defense of the title with a good first set against Maximo Gonzalez. Federer pretty pleased with the figures, I would have thought. 70% on first serves going in. 11 winners, just the 6 unforced errors. Gonzalez was good for the first 7 games and then just handed that initiative. Couldn't quite keep up the level at this level, and it made all the difference. And Federer now with the 1-set lead. So Gonzalez, his first taste of the big time under the lights in New York.
And I think he's acquitted himself about as well as he could have done. I know he certainly hasn't disgraced himself. He's come up with a couple of fine shots, and I think all things being equal, that was about the best 25 minutes Gonzalez could have hoped for.
Second set. Gonzalez to serve.
Rather like what we saw in the previous match with Venus Williams against Sam Stosur, stepping in to attack with a return against a weak serve like that, and picked off very easily by Federer for the first point.
Yeah, he's looking pretty light on his feet as well, Federer. I mean,
Love 30.
getting there, very swift to get it there. That one there, just wasn't easy to take it on the rise on the half volley, but he was so keen to get up the court.
Fifteen 30. And 15 4.
Yeah, and I can't profess to say that I know what it feels like to be in Federer's shoes, and I'm not sure there are too many people on this planet that do, but I can totally understand how Gonzalez feels.
Game, Federer.
I can relate to that with a degree of
First
confidence.
game, second set.
I just want to take you back to your comment at the start of this, that you feel that you're still tipping Federer for this title. The fact that he has not won a major this year, why are you going for that here? What are you basing that on? What is it that's just tipped it that way?
Well, I think he actually favours. It's a little quicker for him here, and I think that actually favours him over Nadal. Funnily enough, so I think that for me is a big factor when it comes down to if they do meet in the final. I think he's just got, as he does at Wimbledon, he's got good memories there. I think his toughest test here, in many ways, will be Djokovic, more than anything.
30 love.
And I know he has had those matches where you can go and analyse them to death and say, what was it, 56 unforced errors against Blake, and how could he do that? And he has lost. And the one thing that concerns me about him is he's lost a lot of like those 7-6 against Blake. Karlovic, when he lost the 2 tiebreakers. Up till now, Federer has been the king of pulling out those tight sets. Even when he's been match points down at times, even at Halle, he's pulled out matches. And he has lost, a little bit of that aura. But I think he will recapture it. So that is my only sort of point of caution. But I just don't think he's played that badly in the slams. I just think it would be ridiculous in many respects for us to feel that you can continue with the same level of...
Nicely done.
Absurd excellence for the rest of your career.
40, 30.
Even somebody like Lendl, I mean, what was he in the final here? Something like seven straight years or something like that. I mean, even he couldn't do what Federer was doing. He was a machine.
If he doesn't win it, then what do you think for him for, well, not say the whole future, of his career, but in terms of this year, do you think he might step away from the tour for a little while, or would you think he'll just go through, his main commitments, the Masters Series?
Big question, actually. Davis Cup has sort of reared its head again.
It has. I mean, and he said he wants to do that now, hasn't he? And that whole experience, I think, with Wawrinka at the Olympics, and perhaps feeling now, Wawrinka a top 10 player, that they've got a great chance of winning that, and it's one that he hasn't yet got. So yes, I'd certainly see him going on and competing next year, but you just think for the rest of this season and the chance to get that practice in that he didn't get in, that he wanted to, that he feels has cost him this year, might be the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, as you say, it is an interesting one, because obviously he's got Davis Cup in a couple of weeks, isn't he, against Belgium? I think it's against Belgium, and obviously they need to win that to get back in the World Group, and then if they do that, then he's already committed to the first round for Switzerland.
15
and if he then obviously plays that, is he going to... my gut feeling is he will play Davis Cup, Madrid, Basel, Paris, and Masters Cup.
15.
We are still waiting for the confirmed calendar for 2009, but what we do know is that the Davis Cup is going to be different next year, and that the first round won't be straight after the Australian Open. It's going to be just before Indian Wells. So
I think it's the 4th, 5th and 6th of March or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
15-30.
Spectacular. That's what they came to see.
15-40.
Just another routine jaw-dropping moment from Federer.
The 30-40.
Perhaps asking a little too much of himself there, but still with a chance to get a double break.
Yeah, would have made that last year.
Oops.
He would have made that last year. Yeah.
It hit the back wall.
Gonzalez not with the deftest of touches there and stood his ground, but yeah, he's missed that by some considerable distance, Federer.
Advantage Federer.
It's a very, very mechanical action, and it's not surprising that it goes off a little bit, but there's a lot of shoulder in there, almost like a javelin thrower. Right? It looks hard work.
Deuce.
That's pretty. I hadn't noticed how big that microphone was. They do like to do things big in America, don't they?
Yeah.
Advantage Federer.
Another big forehand from Federer, and another break point. Thought he'd got it, but it goes long.
Desperate times for Gonzalez. He really needs to find something here to hang on to this serve.
Not the cleanest strike, but it counts.
Advantage Federer.
It's an awkward little play there for Gonzalez with the grips that he has when it's down low and up short, but didn't really deserve that bit of fortune against him.
Game Federer.
Federer further ahead. A double break in the second set.
Federer leads 3 games to love. Second set.
Dale and Brennan just became stepbrothers.
I think they're starting to like each other.
What are you doing? I'm burying you. Oh, you're waking the neighbors. Shut up! Stepbrothers.
La danse n'est pas une mode. C'est un moyen d'expression. Votre moyen d'expression. Celle-ci est rythmée tout d'abord par la musique et par les battements de votre cœur. C'est elle qui la dirige. N'oubliez jamais que celle-ci est vivante. Elle respire comme vous et moi. C'est ma passion. C'est ma vie.
That's right. We can offer you a combined MOT and service from just £99 with a stamp in your book and a guarantee on parts and labour.
That's great. What else do you do? Brilliant. Thanks. That's great.
No problem at all.
Sky Bet. It matters more when there's money on it.
Federer with the draw he would have hoped for in the first round here against a player of Gonzalez level. And he's certainly making the most of it now. Barely threatened in this match. A result from elsewhere. Alizé Cornet, the French woman.
Ready for play.
Big hope for France. She's gone through in straight sets against Camille Pain. Deshi and Mauresmo still battling. Deshi did take the first set in the end, 6-4 against Mauresmo, but it's Mauresmo who leads 4-1 in the second.
Correction. Replay the point.
Most impressive thing about Federer as well is that he's learned this sort of composure on this court, this ability to keep his emotions in check, which is not something that's easy to do, and I'm sure also a little wearing at times for him, because it is a constant battle. I mean, it's something that yes, you can learn to manage, but it doesn't entirely go away. You can't completely 360 change your personality.
39.
Another thing that was interesting in the book as well was that he, like so many of these great players, just didn't really enjoy practice. Didn't enjoy that either. But I think Gonzalez deserved that for his efforts that he's invested so far in this match. Adi Schneider's brother, Daniel Schneider, who he practiced with quite a bit, used to beat him in practice, but said every time he stepped onto the match court, it was like a different player would emerge. And Djokovic talked about that as well with his rivalry with Gulbis when they were practicing at Niki Pilic. He'd lose to him in practice, but we've seen Djokovic rocket up the rankings.
30.
Djokovic seeded to meet Federer in the semi-finals, having faced him last year, of course, in the final itself. Nikolai Davydenko, the 5th seed, in the same quarter as Federer.
30-40.
Perhaps Davydenko thinking, well, if James Blake can finally get a win over him, I can too.
Davydenko, well, he talked just before the announcement about being completely disillusioned with the sport, and how he was struggling to find any motivation to practice and work and everything else. But I'm sure that again is the backlog of tournaments and travel that he's put in over the last few years. It has to eventually catch up with you.
Advantage, Gonzalez.
Another chance then for Gonzalez. Can he take this one? He's had 3 break points so far.
Let. First serve. Deuce.
Can almost go to that, and did it with aplomb again.
Advantage, Federer. Engage, Federer.
Federer easing his way through this second set right now. Just going back to that
Federer
comment Davydenko made at the
to love.
Olympics. He said,
Second
if I don't
set.
play tennis for a few days, I don't care. I don't know how many days I can hold the racket just feeling so tired from playing tennis. I don't do anything, no fitness, no running, no anything. So for me as a professional player, it's not so good. Yeah, I mean, and he talks about the travel, the extensive travel, the many tournaments that he's played, and you know, maybe we're seeing perhaps the start of a bit of a decline in Davydenko's career.
15.
Well, he did play so much, didn't he, for the last 2 or 3 years? Always seemed to be going to one tournament after another. But also, you wonder, you know, his disillusionment with all that he went through last year with the issues around that infamous match in Poland.
$15.
Don't think Gonzalez, did he hear the call in the end? Eventually he realizes it was long.
$15.30.
One of the other numbers to keep an eye on over the course of the next fortnight as well is the day-night combination session. I heard you talking earlier today about the attendance record. Was it for last night that was a record?
A full house for the evening session, and the total figure for the whole day was 59,000 and something, so a record again.
I think last year they broke the record for the day-night combination here at the Open on the 1st of September. Just over 61,000 people piled in during the course of the day, but that was broken at the Australian this year when 62,885 people came through the gates of the Australian Open, which was a shock to me.
30.
Article recently saying that tennis was the most popular sport in Australia in terms of watching it, so maybe it's going to start getting back to levels that they would like to see in terms of participation down under. But you wouldn't think the US Open would be too keen to have that record taken away from them, would you?
No, they certainly like to have the biggest numbers in
40, 30.
spectators, and also prize money, of course. What is it, $1.5 million to the winner?
Yeah, I wonder whether that's going to start rearing its head, you know, the percentage of prize money compared to sort of gate tickets. I mean, we heard about the Rogers Cup in was it Toronto this year. I mean, I think they sold a record number, sort of $10.5 million worth of, you know, tickets. I mean, it was huge.
Deuce.
Kafelnikov was outspoken, wasn't he, a few years ago at the Australian Open? He felt as though the players were underpaid at the Grand Slam. It's very difficult for the general public to look at someone picking up $1 million and someone's complaining about it.
Advantage.
Federer was out here last night on this court for the Parade of Champions, celebrating 40 years of Open tennis. The start of the official professional era in the sport back in 1968.
Game, Federer.
And they're certainly happy with the way he's going about this match tonight.
Federer
Five-love
leads
lead
5
in the
games to
second
love.
set.
Second set, and by 1 set to love.
The new Ceed from Kia, designed to change your mind.
In a recent survey, MoneySupermarket.com was #1 for saving you money on your car insurance. We're #1 because we compare more quotes than anyone else to help you get the best price.
That's the car insurance sorted.
What's next?
Whatever you're looking for, MoneySupermarket.com compares the market in seconds to get you the best deal. MoneySupermarket.com, the price comparison site.
Sky Bet. It matters more when there's money on it.
Gonzalez being left behind here now. Federer in total command of this final match of the night session. Venus Williams earlier on getting past Samantha Stosur emphatically in straight sets, and it looks like Federer's going to follow suit here. Now I think they're a bit ahead of themselves there, saying he's serving for the match. He's actually serving for a 2-set-to-love lead, but I think we know where they're coming from. Perhaps that should be a rule, though, that if you get so far ahead so quickly that you play just best of 3 sets.
Saves time for everybody.
Yes.
Saves a little embarrassing time. Yeah, I don't think there were too many people piling to the various tarot shops that I see around New York asking for a prediction on the outcome of this one.
Look at that! Stunning.
Yeah. I mean, he's always had great defence. Sometimes we don't see it as much because he's on the front foot, but look at that. A gem.
40-50.
And with only 50 minutes gone, he has 2-set points for a 2-sets-to-love lead. Thank you, and almost good night to Gonzalez. Federer, 1 set required to book his place in the second round.
2 sets to love.
The countdown to the Ryder Cup continues with the Johnny Walker Championship at Gleneagles. It's the last chance to clinch a place in Europe's Ryder Cup team, to be announced live on Sky Sports. In association with the Royal Bank of Scotland, coverage starts Thursday at 10, Sky Sports 1 and HD1. Upgrade now to Sky Sports. Press red or the interactive button and select Sky Active. Sky Sports, your Ryder Cup channel.
Born into trouble, in a dog-eat-dog world, living through dangerous days.
And these shields fight!
Ours is a life of hard knocks, tough calls, with the clever players who have the measure of all things. Let's go, boys. So, Lona, don't forget who you are and where you came from.
Act like a man!
Upgrade to Sky Movies by pressing the red button or phoning this number now.
Sky Bet. It matters more when there's money on it.
A blank second set for Gonzalez. A bit of a blank look about him now, wondering what he has to do to do any better than he has managed so far against Federer in this kind of form. A perfect start, really, for Federer. If you're going to win in straight sets, you might as well win quickly, get it done, and he's doing it in double time.
Without question, they do taste a lot nicer here in New York, those bagels, don't they? What is it about those? You go up to that little stall there on the corner and it doesn't look much, but you get on a, oh.
Far too many temptations around here.
Yes, mine are restricted to bagels, Barry. I'm not sure where you're coming from.
Third set. Gonzalez to serve.
It's been tasty so far from Federer. Looks to continue that here and wrap this up.
15.
I wonder if Federer can sort of put a little spin on it himself. If he were to be victorious over the next fortnight, he could look back at this year and think, well, you know, one major and a gold medal as well. It wasn't such a bad year, and a couple of visits to finals of Grand Slams. And he might not end the year #1, and I'm sure he's not going to with the way that Nadal has played. But at the same time,
15.
still, he could really change the whole complexion of his year. Bryans were interviewed earlier today. Obviously, they got the bronze medal in the doubles. Bitterly disappointed, losing to Federer and Wawrinka. Said that their medals weren't with them at the moment. They were getting a little touch-up.
A little bit of gold paint.
I think maybe. In jest, of course.
Didn't the Americans lead the medals table?
Left. First service. $30. 30-40.
Power and width on that last shot from Federer. It forces Gonzalez into error. And it means yet another break point. Dangerous perhaps with his penultimate shot, but he got the job done, and he does.
First game, third set,
yet another
new
game.
balls, please.
Starting to look like a baseball scorecard more than anything else, then, isn't it? Not like a tennis score. Yeah, the numbers. It's not the set summary though, is it? That's the match. Break points 1, 3 of 11.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Gonzalez.
Ready for play.
Or whatever it is, it's distinctly in the favour of Federer.
15. 15. 15-30. $15-40.
Great moves, and caresses the ball back over. And all's well in the Federer camp tonight, at least.
Yeah, just wants to obviously put himself under a little bit of pressure, see how he deals with it. Pretty nicely, thank you very much.
Gonzalez gets him at last. He's had chances in the past, but now for the first time, and he ends that long run of games against him.
One game,
crowd
third set.
Aware of the facts and giving him good support here. There's a Higueras, the right of shot there. Linked up with Federer for the French Open. How much longer will he carry on with him, I wonder? Perhaps a lot does depend in that regard on what happens through this fortnight. Did telegraph that move.
A well-controlled lob though from Gonzalez.
15 lob.
Not a bad length, but it's got a bit of a respite there with that break back, and maybe he can do what he did in the opening set, at least keep it sort of competitive halfway through.
Again, striking a telling blow, getting more aggressive.
30 low.
And it paid dividends.
Got on the front foot there. We had a little bit of time on the ball, and it's a rare luxury against Federer this evening for Gonzalez, and got a big hit in there.
Low. $40-50.
He deserves to get respect out of this match. I don't think he's going to get a result, Gonzalez, clearly, but get a bit of respect. You know, he's kept his head up. He hasn't sort of cowed in a corner.
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Great shot into the corner. And a good game. Another one. 2-1.
Gonzalez leads 2-1. Third set.
Bruno is the champion. Mike Tyson. Prince Nassim Hamed is now king. Lewis has done it. Ricky Hatton rocks the world.
Amir Khan joins the legends on Sky. Khan, September 6th, live only on Sky Box Office.
Hands up, who loves Westerns? Keep them raised if you'd like a whole week of them, from sunup to sundown. Want classics like Shane and Broken Arrow? Stars from John Wayne to Clint Eastwood. It's the biggest Western season on British television ever, hands down. Western Week starts Monday on Sky Movies Classics.
Sky Bet. It matters more when there's money on it.
Welcome back then to the main stadium, and this gentleman who's been entertaining the fans with his dancing. Brilliant from him. And all part of the occasion, adding to the atmosphere under the lights here in New York. How much do they pay him? He comes every year, that guy, doesn't he?
He has been here a few times, but he's good. He wouldn't be staying on the dance floor when he came on.
15 love.
I'm surprised they didn't zoom in on the commentary box pitch. You were giving it something there.
Dancing to me like oil and water.
Light. First serve. $30. $40. And 40, 50.
Going for some more magic, but failing.
There'll be some people perhaps looking at that saying, oh, it was a bit sort of arrogant from him, but actually it was the perfect shot. Gonzalez was backpedaling.
Game, Federer. Two games on. Third set.
Very fine forehand there. Perhaps just took the pace off the ball, and Gonzalez expecting a little more. And it was harder for him to reply. So 2-all. Terrific.
Well, a little better than terrific after. That's pretty harsh. I wouldn't have wanted you as my coach. I mean, he drifts that over the net there, and it just dies on the other side. I don't think he could hit that any better.
Okay, that's spectacular.
That was, he's got his teeth into this set, and all credit to him, Gonzalez. Going down early break, you felt as though that would have been it. He would have capitulated. Thank you very much. Enjoyed my hour and a bit, and out of here. But no, made a sterner stuff.
40.
Considering it is again his hard court debut at this level, it's a pretty good effort from Gonzalez.
Gonzalez
just fell beyond that sideline, and Gonzalez ahead again in this third set.
Gonzalez leads 3 games.
He's going to fight a bit as he can.
September on Sky Sports. England face South Africa in the 5th one-day international. The Super League playoffs and the National League Grand Finals. A new season of Premiership Rugby Union. And the start of the NFL. In Speedway, there's the build-up to the Elite League Grand Finals. And live from Kentucky, the Ryder Cup. An epic month, September on Sky Sports.
He's met 10-year-olds who carried guns, seen bodies lying in the streets, and talked to killers who were high on drugs. The BAFTA award-winning series, Ross Kemp on Gangs, returns.
Every day, carrying this gun. This is my life.
Starting with Los Angeles.
You came to the wrong street. You know there ain't no way out.
What's up, man? How much more for the camera?
Ross Kemp on Gangs, the new series, starts Monday at 9, Sky 1 and Sky 1 HD.
Sky Bet. It matters more when there's money on it.
Seats, please, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Time.
Federer rising again and looking to finish off this in straight sets. You'd expect him to do that. His play generally tonight has been right where he wants it to be. But Gonzalez has given a good account of himself, particularly in this third set. He's stirred the crowd with some of his play in the last few minutes.
15 love. $15 all. $15-30.
Gonzalez here creating a little bit of anxiety for Federer fans. Argentine, who's from Tandil, same town as Juan del Potro, who's having such a remarkable run at the moment.
30.
Did look like that was going to end last night when he was playing Guillermo Cañas. Although del Potro made the quickest start, he lost the first set. Was down in the second. Came through in 4
30-40
to take his run to 20 matches in succession. But Federer's got to be careful here now. Another chance for Gonzalez to break him.
Indeed.
Well, bit of a chance.
Yeah, I don't want to be too demeaning on Gonzalez, but Federer has definitely lost a little bit of his intensity and focus. And he's managed to regain it in this game just in time.
But I did wonder whether that shot to the baseline from Gonzalez was long. I think Federer thought it might have been that there.
Well, this guy's got one of the best half volleys in the game. And that's 2 in a row that he's hit to absolute perfection. Exquisite. I think Federer needs to make him take it out of the air rather than off one bounce.
Advantage, Federer. Thank you. Game, Federer.
Federer's 15th ace of the match.
3 games all, third set.
Well, some of them have been surplus to requirements, but a couple in that game were absolutely critical for him.
Fault. Gonzalez is challenging the call on the right center service line. The ball is called good.
Called a line, but the wrong one.
Second serve.
But Gonzalez doing a great job at giving Federer the run around.
Yes, lovely little point there. Great clay court expertise and a little lob volley. Absolutely the right thing.
Gonzalez has 2 challenges remaining.
Federer moving particularly well there. Good chase here, and well, even the shot through the legs he makes look graceful. A worry for Gonzalez's future in this game, because Federer won't have enjoyed having to chase that ball.
Touché.
And 15 all.
That's the third I can think of tonight that he's hit beautifully on that backhand side. Mainly forehand winners, as you'd expect from him, but another fine strike, and he'll look to build on that here and break ahead again.
Yeah, and that's one of the differences between a Gonzalez and a Nadal. Nadal's, I know it's left-handed, right-handed, but Nadal's forehand jumps so much it comes out of the hit zone.
Optimistic shout from somebody. A little punch of the racket, a clenched fist around it, and he knows the value of that. He has the break he wants in this third set, and from here surely should go on and win inside the distance. 4-3.
The countdown to the Ryder Cup continues with the Johnny Walker Championship at Gleneagles. It's the last chance to clinch a place in Europe's Ryder Cup team, to be announced live on Sky Sports. In association with the Royal Bank of Scotland, coverage starts Thursday at 10, Sky Sports 1 and HD 1. Upgrade now to Sky Sports. Press red or the interactive button and select Sky Active. Sky Sports, your Ryder Cup channel.
Born into trouble, in a dog-eat-dog world, living through dangerous days.
And these shields fight!
Ours is a life of hard knocks, tough calls, with the clever players who have the measure of all things.
Let's go, boys.
So, Lona, don't forget who you are and where you came from.
Act like a man!
Upgrade to Sky Movies by pressing the red button or phoning this number now.
Sky Bet. It matters more when there's money on it.
And time.
Potentially just the 2 more games required now for Federer to push through to the second round in defence of his title.
Mr. Federer is challenging the call. On the right far sideline, the ball was called out. The second serve.
Gorgeous backhand.
15.
Difficult really to try and describe to you just how good
2
that was,
challenges
because that was a heavyweight shot from Gonzalez, and Federer didn't want to sort of relinquish too much ground with his backhand, just brushed up the back of it beautifully.
30.
I think the other change that Federer's had to get used to this year as well. It's because he has been losing earlier in tournaments. His whole rhythm of practice has been thrown out a bit. I mean, he's somebody that said that, you know, he's had to force himself to work hard and practice because he doesn't really need to. And you know, suddenly you lose early in these tournaments. You've suddenly got 5 or 6 days that you didn't have for 4 years that you've got to suddenly fill and keep it energized and interesting. And that's why I think in many respects his coach at this stage of his career is absolutely critical to him sort of regaining and certainly keeping his absolute love of the game, because you know, if he does have a few early losses,
first serve,
you've got to find a way to keep him entertained while being productive.
Okay, Federer.
So get out your crystal ball. Next year, who do you think he would be working with, or who do you think he should be working with? Darren Cahill?
Yeah, I mean, if you were to look at the list of people around, you would have to say that Darren would be right up there. Obviously, he's with Higueras at the moment. Darren's with, you know, he's got his television commentary over here. He's got some interest with Andre. He's got the Australian Davis Cup trainers job. So, you know, he's pretty. I mean, I'm sure he'd give it up to work with Federer. Of course, he was a good friend of Peter Carter, Federer's really sort of first coach, and sadly passed away in a car accident in South Africa.
Of course, Federer did work for a while with Tony Roach, another Australian of a very different generation. And I must just clear up something. I think we were talking earlier, we referred to Ivan Lendl and the great run of finals here. I've just checked back, Petch, and you know, it was 8 in a row.
It was 8, was it?
He lost the first 3 he played, then he won 3 more Grand Slam titles in succession here, and then 2 more runners-up finishes. And Tony Roach was present for those.
What a phenomenal record.
Frightening.
And 15-40.
Sadly, that doesn't do it for him, and it means now Federer has 2 match points.
Please.